Drake and 100 for the win. And FlyQuest sent me a Happy Valentine's Day card. I think you got one as well.
I did.
The card itself is like made from seeds you can plant and it'll grow into some flowers. So, you know, shout out the Mother Nature thing still happening for him.
It's definitely cool. Unfortunately, I will never be able to afford a house in Los Angeles, so I have nowhere to plant it.
You know, that's fair. Just go into a public park and just let no one see you. We are going to this one, and let's see what happens as we get the Soraka ban and the Riven ban. I love, by the way, how completely polarized those champions are. They're both at Viper, by the way. It's like you will carry on Riven or on Soraka, you get neither.
Yeah, I mean, Viper, obviously known for his Riven, has had some incredible performance on it. Soraka, much more of a vanilla ban these days. People just do not like to play against it. Cross-map plays can be very, very powerful with that Soraka, so it is going to be taken out. Something we haven't seen yet in the LCS is the Sona top. Right. That is the other one that, at least in solo queue, is right alongside Soraka top as one of these ridiculously high win rate, annoying champions that fills a similar role. But I do feel that it is easier to abuse the Sona top. We saw G2 actually lose with it, a Wonder playing that, and it doesn't have the same sort of cross-map impact that Soraka has with that global ultimate. So some of the reasons that maybe we haven't seen it come out just yet.
Well, we have the first sets of picks coming through as bot laners are headed back and forth. Aphelios, Misfortune, definitely the big 1-2 in this patch, and until we see more nerfs, that's likely to be true for quite a while. Ornn has steadily risen in popularity. I think it's actually a great early pick overall. You know it can flex top as well as mid, has generally some pretty solid matchups against most of the meta laners.
It is interesting.
Very well, but I'm sure there is a specific champion that PoE has in mind when you ban away LeBlanc. I think TSM probably has that read as well. It's Zoe that they drop off. That was in my head, and I wasn't confident in it, but that's the
exciting duo to track.
Pantheon jungle, they swapped back and forth a couple of times, trying to hope that PoE would do his runes wrong, maybe, and lose a bit of focus, but it is magic in the mid lane, physical damage jungle and top. It's going to be a very exciting one as the draft concludes here. Santorin's Lee Sin, I'm expecting big things out of him, but I'm expecting even bigger things out of Dardoch's Pantheon, with two good lanes to gank for.
Yeah, he's got some great gank setup. And I really do think so much of the game will come down to the play around mid lane. Because if Taliyah does not have the push against Syndra, Taliyah cannot go elsewhere on the map. And so that is where so much of the focus is going to be. I do think we're going to see both junglers hovering around that mid lane, looking to establish vision control, trying to help get priority for their mid laner, to then take that mid laner and utilize that to either dive top lane, dive bot lane, look to attack some of these vulnerable champions, like perhaps the MF Yumi combo.
Oh, we are getting ourselves onto the Rift as TSM and FlyQuest are gonna do battle. TSM have a chance at tying second place in terms of wins. Up to 5 is where they sit right now in Immortals, and we'll see if they can make that one happen. The game has begun, and we will see how much Dardoch, the new jungler on TSM, can do with this Pantheon pickup.
I mean, flex picks really working for TSM thus far. We have seen Qiyana as a flex pick for Dardoch. We have seen Pantheon. We have seen Set. The more and more of these champions is not just the Elise, the Lee, the Olaf, which you kind of feel like you know is going jungle. This is giving them a bit of a different look in draft, which is always going to give you an edge.
Now here we go as they do start to square off, and it looks like no aggressive invades so far. We do rarely see them.
Something worth pointing out, double cleanse on the side of FlyQuest, really respecting the combo there from Dardoch as well as Bjergsen. You know if you do actually eat that full combo, it is generally going to be 100-0. You're going to get really low. The execute damage coming through from the Pantheon, plus the Ignite on Taliyah, is probably enough to kill you off. So Power of Evil playing Phase Rush does lead me to believe he's probably going for the Super Soaker. That build is becoming really, really popular on Syndra, especially alongside the Phase Rush. You have the ability that is pretty unique to this champion to actually cast while moving, slowing down your opponent, speeding up with the Phase Rush, and can be quite powerful.
Now Turtle gonna walk away. Not spotted by the sweepers. I don't believe they knew exactly how the game is going, but the defensive trinket ward they put down to say, hey, is TSM invading our blue? Indeed they are. That should mean that with the info, Santorin can go his red to the opponent blue.
Yeah, so he should be able to answer that. And what this is TSM doing is just kind of splitting the map right now. They're looking to play down towards that bottom side. Well, we did talk in the intro, they've traditionally been a team that really wants to play heavily towards top side. This is signifying as Santorin's actually just going to come hunt for him. Very interesting.
Gonna fight 2-on-2 as the battle comes in. Q lands on a Dardoch and PoE's here. Only level 1 though, but they might make this one happen. Dardoch's got to keep running. Bjergsen gonna build some space, and it's only some poke. But it's now a health bar lead for the FlyQuest jungle, and it's only a camp for a camp.
I've got to say, I actually love this from Santorin. The problem with it is that he probably is going to get 3 buffed, but I do think that this is such an interesting look. Almost always in professional play, when someone makes the move to actually split map, it's just then traded, and that's a handshake that people take. Santorin felt like he could actually go and challenge Dardoch, could catch him out, and while they don't actually get the kill, he did bully him out of the jungle. He did get the HP advantage, so we'll see where he can take it from here, but
yeah,
it is going to be Dardoch very likely getting that 3 buff start.
And it means, though, the Pantheon is not going to gank any time until he recalls. The health regen is not going to be there on that champion. It looks like mid lane will finally push PUE's way. Only had to drop 2 CS, by the way, right? Roamed out to help with the jungle fight. And he's still at 17 out of a possible 19, so really can't hate on that.
And the other part about this is, if you're on FlyQuest's side and you're saying, all right, TSM is signifying that they want to split map and play towards bot side, this is also denying some of that, right? Because Santorin actually maintained control of multiple camps on that bot side. He can still play around and try to disrupt the game plan that is coming through from Dardoch here. And Dardoch is actually going to base after taking his Krugs, so both buffs are available. He could look to do something like red to blue and then look top 4 mid.
We're looking for this one now, as it's just simply walking back away from PUE. And Dardoch has taken that recall, heading towards the top right now to get his own blue, as you mentioned. 3 buffing looks likely, and his blue's not up and stopped, so Santorin. All right, Scuttle doing anything special? No? Okay, mine.
Yeah, I wonder if this is a little bit of a mind game, because it is surprising he's not going straight to his red. But I think if you're Santorin and you know that Dardoch went down to his bot side jungle, you are expecting that that red buff is gone, right? You are thinking then on Dardoch's side, okay, the more vulnerable buff, the buff that is more likely to be attacked, is this blue. So he's just actually going essentially blue to blue and then can fall back towards that red, especially if you want to end your path and actually look to attack towards that bottom side, then having longer duration on that red buff, taking it more close to where you're looking to gank, could make sense. So some interesting mind games and back and forth between these two junglers early on.
End result is it feels like it's ahead for Dardoch right now, actually, as I look over on the scoreboard and everything else. But right, he already took the first recall. Actual money-wise, he's up a couple hundred. And some of that is Santorin taking a little bit of extra time, taking on the Scuttle Crab, and just, yeah, efficiency's kind of been in Dardoch's favor here. So shout out to him for finding the camps to kill and taking the more valuable Krugs this patch.
Yeah, I mean, he got leashed, obviously, on his opponent's buff, right? So they do have that +1 camp available. And, ooh, aggressive play here.
Big damage towards Turtle. Could be stunned up pretty soon. That's going to happen right now. Wants to save the cleanse and the flash. Burns it way late, but now might have to re-engage because the shield lands to keep the health bars just so high on TSM's side.
Bjergsen's moving down. He was spotted, but this is going to force Turtle back. And remember, Turtle is not playing teleport. He is playing cleanse, so he's just going to push it out.
Shield's going to be there. Ignite should keep him alive. You're going to have Ignar trying to face the front as well as a flash comes out. Turtle gets that shield now as well, but Dardoch could flash W. He has enough to kill every single time. Do they react in time? Santorin knows. Once again, they find the shield from the Yuumi. He's going to stay alive.
At the very least, delaying those bases even more. Now he can likely take away the Gromp here from his opponent once again. Broken Blade will be jumped on a bit here by Viper, but a really good roam from Bjergsen. He gets a flash out of Santorin. He delays the base extremely long from this FlyQuest bot lane, so they will lose at least one plate. They'll likely lose most of, if not an entire wave. And, you know, they are going to be put quite behind off this. Yeah, I think they already lost a full wave, and the second one is crashing. So just look at the CS difference down there in that bottom lane.
Yeah.
Already opening up quite a big lead here.
Nicely done to Biofrost and Kabe, as Viper is again in a battle with Broken Blade, but just trading health bars back and forth. It's a pretty equal one overall. We'll point out Bjergsen had to lose about a wave of farm, and in the fact that he had to roam over. Again, worth it. Don't blame him in the slightest. It's just sad that it, you know, his stats will show, oh, this was a -8 CSD. Why don't you? It's like, well, he got his bot lane like 2 waves advantage. It's like, sometimes stats lie.
They do.
Sometimes stats need context.
Yep, context does matter quite a lot in most of those circumstances, but you know, the bot lane off to a good start. They're going to have a very preferential buy here. Kabe able to get BF on his first buy compared to the double longsword plus boots. You know, Turtle obviously not able to stay around long enough to collect that much gold. Dardoch is up in experience, as we are seeing here. You know, he's about 5.5. Look at Santorin. Santorin's not even 4.5. So he's over a full level down on Dardoch right now. Bjergsen already 6. When Dardoch hits 6, you have that double semi-global ultimate that you can look to really try to get aggressive with here.
And look at this, without kills, an 800 gold lead to TSM. Early jungling has gotten them about a 5-camp lead almost. Okay, maybe more like 3, but the roam's looking pretty good as well, getting their bot lane ahead. So a really good start for them. The question is sort of in their mid to late game shot calling and closing those games out, but It's really something that they have been working on the TSM side. FlyQuest, meanwhile, just kind of farming up and once again having to depart this bottom lane as TSM on the way over yet again.
Yeah, just going to force them to run back. If you don't back off there as FlyQuest, then you're probably just going to get dove and die, right? And if you do, you're actually just seeding the blue buff. So either way for TSM, it is a smart move. It's a bit of a win-win for them. They do get the blue buff over onto Bjergsen, and Dardoch is just actually going to stay around. Will be going back to base now as he has a lot of gold in his pockets, but you know, Bjergsen able to steal away the blue buff, and they will have their own blue buff timer, and Dardoch even spawning Santorin out here.
At least Santorin's there for defense in case there is more of a dive. Sees Dardoch take the blast plant and get away, so FlyQuest knows that they are safe, but it's the 14 minion difference down there. It's BF sword versus double longsword. It's really rough, and that's credit to Dardoch and Bjergsen, and honestly the rest of the bottom lane as well for getting some good trades.
And while TSM has been proactive, and I think that their early moves are superior and they are looking pretty good, it's still not a monumental lead by any means, right? It is going to be Dardoch and Bjergsen really looking to cash in and get some kills, you would think, in these earlier stages of the game, looking to really get the most out of that combo once Bjergsen and Dardoch are both 6. Because when you look on the other side, you know, there is some quite powerful team fighting, right? You know, that is going to be a bit of a concern when you're looking over at Ford and really reliable engage from there, as well as
Spellbook Ignite gets burned, looks for a knockup, can't quite find it though. Here comes the Ornhorn, has to flash away from Broken Blade, finds a knockup, finds a clap, trades the flash back away.
Oh, that was really, really close back and forth. You see the power of the Brittle. It looked like Viper was actually losing that pretty heavily. But the ultimate does apply that Brittle. You get the big clap, a lot of bonus damage coming out there. So it is the trade, flash for flash, ult for ult. That may call members up towards that top side, which I think does work in Broken Blade's favor because there is now Pantheon ult as well as Kalia ultimate available. And this makes that Ornn much more of a target.
We'll see where they go. They've been going bot lane for a while, but yeah, top lane could definitely be there, and you find 300 gold on your Aatrox. It's not going to be enough to take things over. Here comes the push towards the top river, though, as Broken Blade and the rest of the squad, without a problem, grabbed the Rift Herald. As the recalls and TPs came through, Viper saved his teleport. That's one big difference. It kind of explains some of that pressure right there.
Yeah, nicely done. I mean, I think because of the recall timings there, Biofrost was able to actually make the move up towards top. They didn't need to commit Kobbe to that side of the map. They already kind of had the mid-jungle cryo. They had a preferential lane state with Broken Blade because he actually TP'd back to lane, whereas Viper was holding on to his. So they don't need to make the full rotation as we have so often seen in the LCS, and Kobbe is able to keep farming bot side while they take that top lane Rift Herald. The question now becomes, can FlyQuest get something back with their TP advantage? Can they look to try to take this dragon? And I think that is going to be the target now.
You can see, yeah, bot lane's being pushed in, and you can see that it's, I mean, there's just so many more people on the bottom side of the map. There should be almost a formality that FlyQuest grabbed this one as bot is shoved in, and Lee Sin is already attacking this Drake. Now it's up to Viper to live. Ult comes out in the back half, and oh yeah, he's going to survive as Dardoch does not get the gank to land. But here comes the 4 versus 1, and Viper doesn't get the W down, might have been on cooldown, but you don't really live through this one. The damage comes across, and first blood is claimed for Dardoch. 6 first bloods in 8 games.
Yeah, that's just great from TSM. I called out, you know his ult is down, you know his flash is down, you have the Rift Herald, move towards that top side. It will get them a guaranteed first turret here up on that top side. You can see Biofrost moving away so that the gold goes into the pockets of the carries. Bjergsen already heading back towards mid lane to try to defend there. And meanwhile, Broken Blade, who was in a very strong spot, was able to actually hold down on that bottom lane, 1v2. He didn't even give up a plate.
Yeah, big stuff right there. At least the second plate drops in the mid lane, but this really does look like TSM taking control of the first 15 minutes as we watch that dive yet again. 4v1, nothing to do for Viper.
Yeah, here this is one more time. Dardoch's ultimate did look a little bit silly, but Bjergsen wraps around behind, gives Biofrost an easy man to jump to. Once the stun comes in, there's just really no chance for him to get out in that 1v4. Would have had to back off very, very early. And as a result, TSM just lose a couple plates mid lane, no plates bot lane, and they're going to be basically that full turret ahead. And it's opening up quite a large gold lead now.
Yeah, awesome stuff for TSM in the early game. As we get about 12 minutes in, you can see their kind of stiffest competition. Immortals up next on the docket here, 5-2. A really pleasant season for them. We'll continue to watch them with excitement, as it's been really awesome for former MVP jungler Smithy to lead that squad.
Yeah, I think Immortals have been one of the big surprises thus far this split. Have been looking good and looking forward to that game coming up next. But TSM, FlyQuest still going to be battling it out for this. TSM obviously heavy early advantage, up 3,000 gold at 12 minutes is going to be leaving them feeling very, very good. But they have an idea that Dardoch is in this area.
Can they find something? No more slows on Yuumi. Flashes out to take the damage, and I guess that's fair enough. Runs away with Merc Treads. Not sure he's going to get caught, actually, to be honest, but I guess better safe than sorry in this case. PoE chunked to half HP. Good trade by Bjergsen.
Yeah. I think the concern from him is if you get slowed down and, say, insect comboed in, then the flash will never save you. So, you know, just using that flash early, a bit of a conservative play, but does keep him safe and keeps them aggressive on the map.
You can see the bot turret in almost shambles here as well. About 2 autos will knock down the 4th plate, and you know Kabe would like to. Looks pretty safe. Yeah, that poke's just not really all that meaningful. Good Q, though. That was pain, but I'll take 120 gold for that.
I like almost shambles as a descriptor.
Yeah, it's an almost shambles. It's like shamble. It's shamble adjacent.
It's adjacent to shamble, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Well, ulti coming across now. Dardoch this time doesn't have the flash, but he's got damage, and Santorin is running out of health. Flashed over the wall. The spear almost lands, but he burns to the ignite.
Whoa!
Hits over the wall as well. He still will not go down. The re-engage though for Viper. Once knocked down Kabe, that's not going to work there either. Here comes Pantheon over the top yet again. Dardoch back into safety, and PoE forced to run away. TSM cannot lose team fights. They're simply forcing FlyQuest away. And they're going to be able to walk away from this one, but the turret doesn't have legs. This time, it will actually be in shambles. But wait, Bjergsen, there's no minions. You don't have aggro taken away just yet. A huge stun comes across. This could be Bifrost, but the shield just stays alive. Turret finally does fall.
They do get that turret, and Dardoch survives such a ridiculously long time, utilizing that Aegis Assault, the E, to block so much of the damage. And even when Wild Turtle runs over to commit the ultimate, he was able to escape. So great job from TSM. Looks like Dardoch is going to be caught out for sure this time. We knew he didn't have flash. Yuumi is zoning him back into the rest of the squad, but look how he backs up, realizing the Aegis Assault there with the Empower. Santorin thinks that he's pretty much a guaranteed kill, so he actually flashes out. Triumph proc comes through for Dardoch, healing him up. He blast stones over the wall, and then is able to ult back to the rest of his team, where TSM can then continue to corral FlyQuest in with that man advantage and force down a turret to extend the gold lead even further. Now up above 4.5k. This early game is completely out of control at this point for FlyQuest. They really have to try to get something back.
A really impressive early mid game for TSM. We crossed 15 minutes in, and this is one of their largest leads of the split. Nearly 5,000 here. You're coming in, I said, okay, yeah, TSM have had better early games so far this split, but you don't expect the 4,500 gold lead coming in, so really above and beyond. Well done to Dardoch, rest of the crew. You just saw he topped the damage in the last team fight as well. This has been TSM's best looking jungler in a while.
Yeah, he's looking really, really good, I think, with the squad. You know, there have obviously been times at which the TSM junglers have looked really, really good. It's not as though Svenskeren wasn't good with them when they won a bunch of championships, but he's performing well. Looking for a pick now on Kabe. He might just be gone.
Oh my gosh, that's so much damage. I don't know if the shield is still down for Bio, but Unleashed Power just slapped him.
Yeah, the Guardian proc, he flashed away, just gets absolutely burst down. Power People had not been involved in much, but had been farming very, very well, sitting on Ludens as well as the early Sorcerer's Boots for that flat spell pen. So Kabe gets a bit of a taste of that.
You're seeing at least glimpses of what might go well for FlyQuest then. They're going to get a second Drake here as well. So, you know, they're moving that way. I don't see how they get the third and fourth, though. Again, this gold lead is massive, but, you know, maybe it might seem like it's something else, but there is the glimmer there, but it is pretty faint.
Yeah. Yeah, if they were sitting at 3, you're like, maybe ones might steal, but when you're still 2 off and you're this far down in gold, it does start to feel pretty desperate. You are looking over at Viper and realizing how far behind he is in farm. The bot lane is pretty heavily down as far as the gold goes, simply because of all the turrets and everything they have taken down.
That's the root. Good cleanse. That was needed. Bjergsen absolutely would have gotten that knockup for sure, so good to bring that spell. But here comes the Herald Summon, and here comes mid lane crashing down. Reinforcements are on the way. FlyQuest can maybe take the fight, but this turret is going to run out of health really, really quickly. It's almost dead just off the first charge.
Yeah, I mean, TSM is just being so proactive. Every time their ultimates are up, they are dropping it. You know, that was Dardoch ulting in with the Rift Herald die, but Dardoch very low here. Gotta be careful.
Damage. Knockup's not going to find a lot. It's Biofrost who flashes away, but you are seeing some of that poke is there for FlyQuest. Those glimmers of hope are there.
I mean, there's a lot of squishy members on this team, right? You know, if Syndra with the items that she is sitting on right now, or Power People can connect a combo on Dardoch, on Bjergsen, on Kobbe, he can wipe them off the map, and then all of a sudden that gold lead no longer really matters.
Yep.
But you know, TSM is kind of keeping their foot pressed to that gas pedal. You do really like to see that when a team has an early game advantage, to try to extend it, to see that gold lead growing and growing and growing. That's what you're looking for with these types of compositions.
Yeah, I actually really want to see an Oblivion Orb on Power of Evil. Aphelios has the interesting honor of having absurdly low magic for this. He's level 10 and still only has 30 MR. It's like he and Yuumi are the only champs who have stats that low. So if you find Oblivion Orb, Pee-wee does literally true damage to him, or at least I guess functionally true damage to him with his spells, which would be a huge power spike. He's going towards death cap now. I don't hate that either. You might see a Spellbinder to get the move speed to land the stuns, but he is going a high AP build. I would like Flat Pin in terms of killing Aphelios.
My guess is he's looking towards the death cap as a really strong Ornn upgradable item.
Yeah, that's the one.
And I think, you know, you can upgrade Ludens, but the upgrade is much less gold efficient, as we're going to see Turtle get run down likely.
Yeah, he's going to flash the follow. Broken Blade trade Summoners gets the solo kill.
Yeah, knocking him down on that bottom side. This is a very, very strong Aatrox. Already has all his CDR online, sitting on that Black Cleaver, and here comes Dardoch.
They can't find the kickback into the turret. He goes back and forth. Now the knockup there on a PoE. Does have flash, doesn't seem to need it though, as Yuumi shows up for some speed, for some healing, and now it's going to be a nice stopwatch for Biofrost. The reset of Santorin. Shields back to his squad, and the ult was already on cooldown. Couldn't quite get the kill on a Biofrost, but forcing him away as well. Power People, the bastion of safety here for FlyQuest.
Yeah, it is interesting to actually see Biofrost and the build he's decided to go for here, rushing towards the Zeke's Convergence. You know, on a squad that doesn't have any true tank, I would have expected maybe even like a Stone Plate rush, but he's obviously feeling that, you know, he can maneuver in and out of the fight, utilize his cooldowns well enough that he doesn't need to be necessarily that true tank. We will see if FlyQuest can take advantage of that, because although Biofrost can be very tanky, you know, when he does have that door up, if the Unbreakable is down, you can get one combo by the Syndra too.
Yep. Really, it can be quite scary. At least there are some defensive stats on the Zeeks, but you're right. It's not as much as Stone Plate, right? There's no comparison there. So yeah, we'll see if Biofrost can make it work with slightly lower defensive stats than you might otherwise see on a arguably more conventional build.
It's risk versus reward, right?
Sure.
You're going to be able to put out ward DPS, you know, because of that buff that you're throwing over on Kobbe. Kobbe is going to be going for a very heavy damage build. Looks like he's rushing towards the IE second, not the Hurricane, as had been kind of the standard. It feels like people are moving more away from that sometimes now. So he's going to be this heavy AD build. Same build that we see Turtle rushing towards, but Kobbe a bit ahead of the curve.
Yeah, some of that is actually synergy with Zeke's, of course. It's a dot, so attack doesn't really help that one very much, and so you know, Raw AD does benefit that a little bit. Either way, we look back at Kobbe just wave clearing in the mid lane, and to hear from Aframu about how this game is going as well afterwards. So stay tuned for that one, as TSM have stalled out into the mid game, but they're ready to play for this Drake, as they know that the Soul would be one of the only ways FlyQuest comes back into this one and completely cut off that bottom river.
Yeah, and now this is where you try to make good on that.
Oh, that's a lot of damage. Shields up. Good job to hold the ult, because now round 2 might look a little bit better.
Yeah, good little chunk there. Have Biofrost not in position, you can commit that ultimate.
Here comes the attempted knockup. Big knockup there. Santorin lives! And then drops down Broken Blade. The kickback, the knockup, they get Dardoch there as well. A 2-for-0 Flyk with a gigantic deficit. Get 2 for nothing.
FlyQuest with just a fantastic engage. As Kobbe was in mid lane, clearing that wave, TSM was trying to maintain their position around the Dragon without their bot laner there, but instead, the Ornn engage comes through, Santorin flies in, FlyQuest commit to that, get the kills, and once 1 or 2 members are off the map, the gold lead no longer matters whatsoever.
And it's so important that PoE was threatening. He forced out Biofrost's shield because he had lethal threat on Bjergsen. Because of that, the shield's on cooldown. Now Ornn can ult and actually do something in the game. And that was actually massive to find that second kill. It means the third Drake comes through. The gold deficit drops to below 4,000, and they're on Soul Point.
Yeah, that's a really big swing in the game. It did feel like TSM was going to be able to grab this for sure. But as you said, Unbreakable is down. Viper knocking up 3 members of TSM. Notice Kobbe on the top left of the screen over here. You know, he has not even joined the fight. Staying in this quadrant, clearing out that wave, was not able to get over to that squad safely. As a result, FlyQuest getting a bunch of easy kills, taking another dragon. That Mountain Dragon quite strong for the Ornn too, so you're you're going to be able to grab that Mountain Soul, will really help against the burst combos that I think TSM is fairly reliant upon. You know, when you think about things like the Pantheon Talia combo, having that passive shield from the Mountain Soul is going to be really useful.
Yeah, gonna look really nice for them. So shout out to PoE, doubling anyone's damage in this game, tripling most of his teammates. Death Cap is done. Make sure it's on the far left of the inventory. It's in slot 1. Then when Orin right clicks you, make sure it goes to the Death Cap. If it's Luden's Echo, that is a mechanical misplay on PoE's item ordering. He's level 13, so yeah, it goes for the earliest available slot. Oh no, he did it! He did it the wrong way! Shakara's just put a video out about this!
Well, maybe Power of Evil will get tweeted and we'll learn too.
Yes.
You just taught us all something, Freak.
Yes, I learned from KaleBot. I passed on my knowledge that I recently earned. And we'll all endeavor to be better in the future.
Yeah, that is unfortunate because the Death Cap upgrade is more efficient. That's worth more gold when you do have both. That is why we kind of assumed that he was actually skipping the double spell pen that you had talked about earlier. So, you know, with that upgrade going to the wrong slot, that does make the build that you had talked about seem even better.
Sure.
Unfortunate for them, but won't be game deciding, very likely. FlyQuest, though, only down 3K now with Ornn items coming through and the 3 dragons means really the lead is pretty much gone. When you're talking about effective gold that is on the map right now with these couple upgrades and all of the stats that they have from the dragons, it's basically an even game. So TSM, off of that one poor team fight, has made the game much more difficult for themselves.
You know the nervousness has to kind of increase now here on the TSM side. They know that they probably still even feel up in gold when you look at CS and everything else, but yeah, Mountain Soul is worth, you know, 200 to 300 health essentially as the raw shield, which is about 800 gold per person in like pretty much literally raw stats. And now you can see a push towards the back side. Don't quite get the to knock down the turret as well. 2 minutes till that Drake comes down. TSM still showing signs of life, still showing some good plays, and they're grouped up ready to take this fight if it comes to them.
Yeah, I mean, when you're looking at Death Cap, the raw AP there, 4% is worth like 18 AP already on Power of Evil. That's quite a bit. You know, the AD going to be coming through for multiple members too, so it does all add up to quite a bit of extra gold. TSM, though, they are still going to have their opportunities, but if it's just Death Ball versus Death Ball, I do think
find the route, they find the engage. Oh my gosh, Santorin pops the start, and they can't even trade back for Biofrost. Broken Blade flinging to the sides as well, could make a lot of danger. Here comes the wall, they have to flash to get away. They will at least try a single kill. Viper forced a flash to save himself. It's a 1-for-1 jungler for top laner. Big stun comes across, they've got the follow through, and Viper drops as well. Now Dardock's in the front line, leading the charge. The damage has gotta be there, the shutdown comes through. It's a 3-for-1 and Dardock wants a little bit more. Can't find the next stun, but TSM win the fight and they can go to the top river.
That final sniper auto from Kabe, locking up Viper with the Braum passive into the Gravitum root there. That CC chain holding him down, locking him up for Bjergsen to be able to finish off that kill and grab a couple more. Here's the initial engage. Again, started out very well onto Santorin for TSM as they're able to burst him down extremely quickly. It looked like it was FlyQuest trying to start this off, but as he goes in, he just gets absolutely lit up. He took the Q straight into the threaded volley from Bjergsen. All of those are connecting, and he just got shredded. Now, Broken Blade coming in with a good flank, but a sauce comes through, well timed from the Yuumi. And then notice this, the Sniper Q gives him that infinite range auto, procs the Braum stun, swaps to his offhand, Gravitum root into Bjergsen's seismic shove there. That was a really nice combo and quick thinking from Kabe to lock up that last member and really win the team by heart.
Beautifully done, and now TSM feeling comfortable. What, 20 seconds on Soul as Viper's in the front line. He's gonna get healed up, runs away, then runs back in. They find the root on a Broken Blade, and this fight could mean so very much. If FlyQuest wins it, I think they're actually leading in the game. But TSM, they feel pretty comfortable here. Damage to the Biofrost that puts them at half. Broken Blade still on the wings, and speaking of which, has the ulti available. Biofrost getting chunked down. They might just find this one. They get close, and now Pantheon to the back line. They found Power of Evil. What a beautiful backline play. Viper dives back in, looking for the kill on a Biofrost, but it's already 2 teammates dead. It's a 4v3 on the map. Viper is running out of health. 4v2, it's no Santorin who is going to die. The double comes across, make it a triple for Kabe, and TSM wipe the map.
TSM get the ace. They're going to grab the Baron. They can solo up the Dragon here too. TSM have full control of the game off of that. And it was a fantastic engage from Dardock coming over across the top. FlyQuest was just trying to use this Orin Yuumi combo as someone who cannot be engaged upon, sending him forward, poking people down, harassing them out. But TSM, they just engaged over top of them.
Dardoch, be careful. Dardoch, you were running out of health, buddy. Good spite. They're going to be fine. Drake is grabbed just to make sure Soul Point can happen for 5 minutes. No worries, TSM. Kite the aggro well. Wild players take notes.
Great boss down.
Yep.
What was the loot? All right,
a lot of purples.
Here it is one more time. A lot of purples, nice. So Viper going to be going in. This is just trying to utilize basically the Orin, almost like you do Garen Yuumi, where you have this unassailable target, and they want to move him in to poke people down. And this is actually working out very, very well. But Broken Blade, notice him sneaking around the side. This ward is actually turned off. He comes in with the flank at the same time as Dardoch ults up right down the middle. And all of a sudden, what you thought was a front-to-back team fight, utilizing the Orin Yuumi to be the only point that they could be engaged upon. Now, Broken Blade's in your backline. Dardoch has ulted from the back of the fight over on top of your carries. The carries get decimated, and then without the backup of those, Orin Yuumi is not frightening at all. TSM played that incredibly well.
Really nicely done. So Baron buff is on. You can see a lot of damage coming through. The 2180 from Dardoch, I think, is a little misleading because it was on like the best possible target though, and it won them the fight because
quality
power
of the
beat.
damage.
It was huge quality of damage right there. Of course, Bjergsen doing great as well. 106 highest damage for his team in that fight, and TSM are in a very good spot right now. They are so well poised to win this one to close out in the mid to late. You can see a little poke come through, but this is looking very likely to be TSM's.
Yeah, TSM is looking really good. Seismic Shove actually catches on Viper there, but can't follow up on that, and they will just look to continue to extend this gold lead. You know, it had really kind of been FlyQuest crawling back, but this game has really swung around these two really consequential fights by that Dragon Pit. One that FlyQuest won that pulled them back in, and then TSM kind of blew the game open with a dominant win in that last team fight, and now sitting a good 8,000 plus gold ahead. FlyQuest, they're going to be looking towards this next Mountain Dragon. That will be the target for them. They're going to be trying to fight for that, trying to grab Soul. If they can get a good fight, if they can get a pick and lead into that Soul, then it buys them more time in the game. It buys them the opportunity to continue scaling, to try to catch up.
Well, for now, at least, FlyQuest are wave clearing, but now the bot side is cut off, and Wild Turtle has to be a little bit afraid because Pantheon comes up the top as well. Dardoch will be rooted, but does not yet have aggro. Shield comes up, takes absolutely no damage on the way out, but now it's time for Broken Blade to be careful. The kickback on a Dardoch, Santorin pop stopwatch. This should be a dead Pantheon. Bravo's over the top, and the shutdown 1-for-1. Both junglers are dead. A 4v4, though, could be okay for FlyQuest with the turret on their side. A snipe towards PoE, puts him at half HP. Big damage coming through. Kave nearly solos him out, and the re-engage could be good as well. Turret comes down. That's going to be a structured drop as well. Viper could be rooted, and TSM feeling comfortable now to keep pushing forward.
Scatter.
Heals coming through for Ignar, keeping the squad at least reasonably safe. But TSM still wear the Baron buff. It just drops out right about now. Now, 4v4. Gold going to be close. Biofrost, one more shot. The Flash 4 to get one kill. The Viper will trade his life. A 1-for-1. Not that bad on either side. TSM going to walk away.
Yeah, they are going to be able to hold on to the inhibitor that is critical for FlyQuest. Yuumi healing was coming up so big for them there, being able to sustain them up through that poke back and forth. Viper does end up giving his life, but everyone will be back up on the map for this next Mountain Dragon, which I do think is going to be kind of that key objective. We're going to see teams fighting over. We'll have to track if FlyQuest is going to be able to get any vision ahead, though. As we'll watch this one more time. Bjergsen just dropping that Yuumi ultimate. Dardoch looks to go in, gets rooted up by the Yuumi ult, and then Santorin hits the Q, looking for that kick flash. In he goes, knocking Dardoch back. And it is eventually that trade of kills. Well-timed ultimate from Biofrost does knock up Santorin, so it is that trade of life back and forth here. And then you can see Power Beetle getting put incredibly low, but utilizing Yuumi there to just heal him back up. You can see, look at the scatter, knocking Kave down very, very low on health, is able to heal right back up with that Scythe Pistol. And you can see, without even building lifesteal, Kave is sustaining an incredible amount, utilizing that specific weapon, as well as his runes, Legend Bloodline, and things like this. Are very, very powerful, even though it's not like he's sitting on a Bloodthirster. A couple autos, he's right back to full.
Oh, there's the Bloodthirster. Speaking of the devil, it's back in. But yeah, he had 50% lifesteal before that pickup. 15%, and this guy has 1 million damage, right? So does make that pretty useful overall. Summoner Heal, of course, can add on top of that one. And oops, Turtle walks in, gets pushed in, but yeah, he's fine right there. 8,000 gold lead, TSM. Once again, need to control this bottom river. The Mountain Soul is still on the docket here for FlyQuest.
Broken Blade is looking for a flank here. He's actually just going to try to wrap around behind this team.
All right, who can engage faster, though, as here comes the push in. They've aggroed it. They know he's over the wall. They put the ward down. They see him.
This is critical. Dardoch now has no ultimate, and Broken Blade has been spotted, so it'll be a lot harder for TSM to try to get a flank on FlyQuest, and that's how they won the last fight.
And Fly really need to 50-50. They need to put this one down and try to find this smite fight. It's such a big boost in power for them. They can keep Broken Blade separated. Down to 3K. Here comes the attempt. They're going to start the hard engage. The bullet time over the top means a lot of damage. Dardoch's at 5 HP. They can kill him. One more auto will knock him down. They can't get the damage. He finally traps Centaur and gets the smite. And look at the team fight. It's 4 kills for 1 with a Mountain Soul over the top.
FlyQuest disengaged that fight so damn well. They peel back, and they're charging down mid lane. They are potentially looking to end this. They're actually going to send back Power of Evil, so it may just be an inhibitor. We'll see when they try to pull off here. Yeah, they're going to reset. A little bit of hesitation, actually. They're kind of going back and forth, deciding to have Santorin stay around. Baron is spawning, so they may want to just try to reset and prepare for that, but that is how these team fights can look when TSM cannot get the flank, when FlyQuest tracks you incredibly well.
Yep, and that's the timing, right? Is TSM still dead mostly for about 8 to 10 seconds? None of the global teleports are available aside from Broken Blade, but he was alive anyway. And so FlyQuest have the map control they need. Unless heroics come out from Broken Blade, they should guarantee this Baron, but TSM's coming over. They're about to be in range, and it's actually FlyQuest forced to disengage this one. You have to imagine if PoE had joined the squad in time and they peeled 4 seconds earlier, maybe they got the Baron for free.
Yeah, it seemed like there was some hesitation back and forth, and they didn't even get the inhibitor. So at that point, it would have actually been better to just wait at the Baron and take that, very likely, instead of getting an inhibitor tower, to try to prepare for that. It also felt like they probably didn't have a precise timer on Dardoch's ultimate, right? And maybe the call is Pantheon could ult in. The ultimate wasn't actually up on spawn, but that's one of those little things that can really affect your mindset and your decision making when you're doing this and all of a sudden someone's like, what about Pantheon ult?
Sure. Well, he's got 30% CDR in the build, but it's still 115 seconds. It's a 2-minute cooldown even with the itemization he's got. So, unfortunately they didn't have that one tracked, but they were afraid of it, and it's going to be the safer play for FlyQuest.
We have seen, though, another example of how FlyQuest can win those fights. TSM has shown us some incredible team fighting, how they are able to take it over if they can access backline, utilizing flanks, utilizing that Pantheon ult. But in that previous fight, Dardoch's ultimate really didn't amount to anything besides grouping him with the squad, and Broken Blade was tracked on the flank. So when it did come to that straight-up 5v5, front to back, FlyQuest dominated it, and now they will have the advantage of these big shields from that Mountain Soul that is going to make it even more difficult for TSM to burst someone down.
Broken Blade wants to fight Viper, who's got about almost 400 health on the Mountain Soul shield. You're looking at 250 to 350 for the high AD and AP carries, and between 200 and 300 for the more mid-range ones, as Turtle and Ignar on the way over. 3v1 on Broken Blade, cannot get away, burns the flash after, and then Bjergsen shows up with a wall to keep him safe. So it's a trade of some ultimates, but now TSM numbers advantage this side of the map, right? 3v2 over there, but it's not enough to start the Baron. In face of the wards, they don't get anything done.
Yeah, Broken Blade just gonna have a lot of trouble dealing with this Ornn at this point, who is sitting on 421 armor with the double Mountain Dragon. He is stacking that armor too. It is worth noting, he did not ever build a second Ornn, right? And that is something I've been kind of curious about, if he was gonna go back for something like an Abyssal to help deal with Julia.
Oh no, Santorin gets the ward hop to get away, has flash if he needs it, should be safe, gets the Yumi shield as well, jumps right back in to fight Dardoch, and that's the first stun. That's a kickback as well, but Biofrost is now in range to block everything else out. Gonna stay safe on this side. A trade of not too many cooldowns.
Yeah, the kick's just kind of being used there by Santorin to disengage, keep himself safe. He is sitting on GA. They did cost them the heal.
Oh wow, they're starting it.
And TSM, yeah, they're two-manning this. Kabe is
really
going to
smart.
spread through this. They have no idea that Pink Ward, now it's spotted with the blue orb.
Trinket over, do they have the time? The Braum ult was perfect as well. And TSM sneak a great Baron.
Yeah, really good call there. Keeping multiple members in the mid lane for TSM. Dardoch and Kabe shred through that Baron. Utilizing the Chakram pistol as well as that turret. It's so much damage coming out.
Yeah.
You just need someone to tank it up for you, and you can really burn through that. So TSM, again, battling back. This really has been a back and forth game, very close game. throughout most of it. Despite the fact that TSM has been in a heavy gold lead, FlyQuest have been winning a fair amount of fights and do have soul.
They've kept it within 3 kills, but it's the entire time, despite fighting mostly the whole time a 5,000 gold deficit. It's now, 7,000 to 8,000 here, but they have some pretty good ult combos, right? Yuumi, MF, though I don't honestly love the lane that much, at least if there's engage tools. If you root them all in place, they're lined up for bullet time. There's actually, really good team fight synergy there, even if the laning phase is a little bit weak.
And my assumption is it was more about what they felt they could get outside of the lane phase, right? And we have seen Yuumi be very effective creating zone control with that ultimate in team fights, attaching to some of these tanky members, to be able to add additional playmaking and poke. The sustain is incredibly good in Yuumi ever since they kind of shifted some of Yuumi's power away from the poke and healing. Santorin looking for a flank here.
Nice little bit of damage right there. Here comes Orin over the top now as well. Is looking for some stuns, but can't find a whole lot. Bullet time just getting blocked by the shield. As the split push is now coming to an end, as some ultis come on to cooldown. TSM going to disengage as they wear down this Baron buff.
So that's a 1 trade for FlyQuest as they do force the teleport out of Broken Blade. So now it is TP advantage over to FlyQuest. And that Elder is coming up. And it doesn't matter that TSM only has the 1 dragon because the Elder is at full power no matter how many of those dragons you have picked up. TSM do have more vision control in the area. There are some forward wards from FlyQuest that they could look to use if they need to TP Viper in. But those are actually getting swept out right now by Biofrost. So FlyQuest is going to have to get control of that mid lane first before they can really get access to the pit.
They can knock down most of the wave. We know Dragon spawning in 4 seconds now as TSM have fully reset and they're ready for this one.
I think that we may see them just tear the Yuumi up with one of these frontliners to try to move in again. But they have got to track the flank. That is why Broken Blade is staying.
They found the root. Turtle cleanses, walks away. But that is still an important cooldown missing. It's also the ulti gone from Aphelios. Kabe only has flash for important cooldowns here as they once again look for the front line. They find a slow and a Biofrost. They get the knock up there as well, but no follow through. Now looking over the side again is Broken Blade. Again, fighting back with a little bit of safety, but Viper pretty much unstoppable. A bit of a hit towards Dardoch. Now they re-engage. They kick, they get a knock-up on a 2. Is that the go button? They force the flash out. Biofrost is low. Bullet time over the top. The knock-up there as well. They might find the damage. Here comes Dardoch in the backline, but he can't get the kill just yet. Viper's still so tanky. Calls the Ornhorn. Goes for the knock-up on a 2. They will knock down Dardoch. The Guardian Angel will lose for Santorin, but it is a 5v4 for now. The re-engage, can it look good? No slows just yet. Ward hops over the wall, stays safe. Kabe in the front lines. Finds some damage. Viper cutting away now as well, as TSM in the 4v5 do not want to give away Elder Dragon, but they do not have a smite.
Yeah, no smite, so the only way to actually secure this is winning the fight to kill people off. But Biofrost very low. Broken Blade getting fairly low here too. Power Evil was out of mana, but he got the blue buff. That is enormous for FlyQuest, and they are going to look to re-engage.
And Biofrost is 12 HP right now. There's no way this fight goes well for TSM anymore. Bjergsen almost gets rid of it. He does. That is an easy kill. The stun over the top of 2 as well. Dragon resets, but FlyQuest found another kill. Chasing in towards Kabe. That's the slow. He does not have flash. He does not have a good way out. The blast cone's not there in time. A double kill for Wild Turtle and FlyQuest on a 7,000 gold deficit when the team fights, and the Elder Dragon is there.
Broken Blade trying to get something done here mid lane, but he's actually getting flanked now by Viper. We'll see if he's going to be able to get out. Looks like he will. More than anything, I want to see how much healing Yuumi did throughout that whole series of events. That was such an extended fight. And I was seeing heal after heal after heal coming up from Yuumi for 500 plus health.
Sure.
It was an insane amount of sustain here. And Yuumi was just constantly healing people straight back up. The mountain shields were regenning anytime someone was out of the fight for very long whatsoever. Biofrost gets very low here, so Viper is able to be sent in. This time, Dardoch dives into the backline, but the later you get into the game, this Jungle Pantheon is not going to have the pressure to solo down one of these carries, right? He's playing Stoneplate, is not a pure damage build. Broken Blade could not get access over to him, so Power of Evil as well as Wild Turtle stayed strong in that 2-man squad and were able to push him back, to take him down. And then it was just about this reset. And Power of Evil recognizing, hey, the blue buff's up, Santorin actually goes over to help lifesteal off of it and leash that for his mid laner so that they can then look for the potential re-engage. And again, it's about the Yuumi. The slow comes through. The MFE slowing down multiple members there too, and despite the flash from Bjergsen, he can't actually get out of that Yuumi ultimate, gets rooted up, gets knocked down, and FlyQuest are marching down mid lane, looking to take this inhibitor, while you see TSM trying to split the map, running down
Recalls.
top lane, running down bot lane.
Well, they're recalling back right now. This could be the climactic fight as FlyQuest goes for the game win right now. There's Dardock in the front lines. Big damage, but Viper is so incredibly tanky. Turret's not going to fall. Redemption buys a few more moments, and we'll see if the reset comes through. They cannot quite find these openings, though, in Viper. Be able to jump away, stay alive on that side. Santorin can't find an opening either. Wait to see what might happen next. 14 to 14 in kills. Still a 3,500 gold deficit, but the Elder Dragon obviously worth so much more than that. FlyQuest feel like they're finally in the driver's seat here, waiting to see if they can find someone to kill. But the waves are cleared. As you mentioned, TSM is splitting top and bot, and the side waves are not good for FlyQuest. They're going to back out.
Yeah,
Baron's alive.
They're going to go to Baron. They're just going to use the Elder to secure the Baron. TSM is not going to want to fight this team while they have Elder. It is such a powerful buff. So instead, it will be about TSM trying to make these plays. Look at the solo laners right now. You can see Bjergsen and Viper running down here. Dardock joining them as well. They may actually look to try to ult towards the base. With Viper showing up, I don't know that they will. The Baron is already dead, so it feels too risky with the potential Baron recalls. But you can see the mindset that TSM is in now. It is about guerrilla warfare. It is about hitting and running, avoiding your opponents, trying to not take this 5v5 anymore, and look for opportunities for backdoors. Look for opportunities to trade inhibitors and try to turn it into a scrappy game where you're not just facing down this nigh unkillable Ornn.
Well, gets the redemption upgrade finally to Ignar. That's one more item coming through, but level 18, as long as the items come through, they'll have all the ornaments ready. And now we'll see as the push comes down to the bottom side of the map. Dragon's going to end in a second, and Baron buff is on. You still expect to see FlyQuest being the ones who are able to push. I do want to reiterate, even when the global buffs are gone, that the actual gold lead is lying. As we mentioned, it's on average 300 plus health per member from the Mountain Shield. That is 800 gold worth of HP. Like actual gold lead in stats, definitely on FlyQuest.
Take a look at Wild Turtle. He has nearly a 1,000 HP shield with the Bloodthirster shield, plus the Mountain Dragon, plus he has Overheal, I think, as well. And he is just looking so intimidating when you're taking a look over at that MF and just realizing how much you have to work through before you're even touching the health.
Yeah, 350 from BT, 220 from Overheal, and about 350 from the Dragon. So
that is frightening.
Adds up close to 1,000 extra health. He is a tanky boy, and they're pushing down the bottom lane right now. Baron buff still on for a minute and a half. TSM must find some point to defend. It might have to be after the Baron drops off, though.
Yeah, I think that may be the call. They did wait out that Elder Dragon buff. You can see that Dardock, Bjergsen, Broken Blade all sitting on the side. They're looking for a potential flank, so they are going to make the call to go here.
Okay, this could be the cutoff. This could be the fight that might work for TSM. Viper, though, very taking the front line. Wild Turtle safe so far, but they might find the re-engage. Bramble just doesn't do anything. Viper is basically invincible. Turtle has to kite back, and Dardock cannot find that opening either. The kick back, though, Broken Blade going to lose the Guardian Angel. Does have flash. He can get away from this at least a little bit, and does jump over the wall, gets back to safety. But that is going to be a dead turret and one more auto attack, and it goes down now as well. Health bars on TSM are looking at a retreat away from the inhibitor, and it's 2 inhibs now broken for FlyQuest.
Yeah, they just can't burst anyone down. That Mountain Soul plus all the Yuumi healing, anytime there is an extended trade, it just gets better and better for FlyQuest. And
nice block
on those next
Bio,
turrets.
but they've knocked down one of the turrets, and the re-engage can still be very solid. Dardock at half health. Big wave clear for Kave, just knock most of these down. Almost a stun on a Broken Blade. Gotta be careful on that one. Down the front line, but they're gonna right away try to knock those kills across. The turrets are gone. They're gonna pad the KDAs if they can. It's still TSM able to run away. Turtle's gotta be careful. He's taking a lot of damage there on the backside. Dardock not going down either, and Viper could actually be chased down. This will be TSM finding a single kill, finding a sign of life. And it's now FlyQuest forced to run away in a 4v5.
Yeah, second Elder's up in 50 seconds. Viper will actually be dead as it spawns. He will have TP, but they're looking to chase.
The flash engage potential. Pee-wee can't find the stun, but here comes Dardock over the top. Is this the fight? Oh! He's gone right away, and Syndra finds a second as well. Biofrost goes down. It's a 4v3, and Ignar has the healing. Broken Blade forced one away, and just like that, FlyQuest reclaimed the map.
Yeah, TSM felt like they had to go for more. They needed to get multiple kills before that Elder spawned. They wanted to be in an advantageous position for that, so they make the call. TP in Broken Blade, use the Dardock ultimate, but Dardock was sitting at like 20% health maybe.
Yeah.
He just goes down immediately, and then again, you can't actually punch through all of this healing. So these extended fights have really been working in the favor of FlyQuest, but in this one, it is Kave on the side, flanking around the rest of the team while Viper was getting focused on that bottom side. Kave got around the top edge here, kind of came around the top, and actually poked out Wild Turtle to the point where all of a sudden Yuumi cannot heal all these targets at once. There was no minions to heal, and then it's just the call to go for broke. They actually have Broken Blade already keeping in, but it's right to the Elder. FlyQuest are on it.
Okay, no smite for Dart, or sorry, Dardic just respawned, so no smite available for TSM. This should be a fairly easy collapse. They don't know when the ult might come down. It's bullet time over the top. It's a kill onto Bjergsen already, and they're re-engaged right onto the Drake. They know they can grab it. A good smite for Santorin, a kill in the mid laner, and another Elder Dragon buff.
This should be essentially a guaranteed win. There are no Nexus turrets. There's no mid laner for almost a full minute. You have Mountain Soul. You have the Elder Dragon. TSM gotta have a miracle.
Load without flash. The chase is there. The dragon takes him down as Wild Turtle leads the charge with the rest of FlyQuest. A 5v3 with the buff on. It was a huge fight. It was a comeback victory. But FlyQuest have done it. They're gonna pad the KDA. They're gonna pad the DPM. And FlyQuest move on to 4 wins. They're challenging for the top of the table as they take some more kills. They're gonna take the Nexus and they're gonna take down TSM.
A very resilient FlyQuest today, hanging on against what was